and mentally and strategically. Whereas 9Z, well, you mentioned RMR woes, they've had a bit more time to prepare specifically for this
absolutely. I
tournament.
mean, like you said, this side not making the RMR, not even making the RMR is one of those things where it was a real negative for 9Z, a real dampener on the mood over towards the camp, but it gives them a lot of time to prepare, to prep, to get ready for this game, which we are underway into. Nuke is our first battleground for this series. Heroic taking on 9Z, elimination on the line as well. Survival is the story. Let's see who can do it as we head in towards round number 1. Heroic starting on that CT side.
Yes, an advantage mentally for a lot of players these days. They love a good CT-sided start. Nerds at the back end of Garage here will spot out the first player. Not able to land anything just yet. I'm not sure whether that smoke is fully intentional there, but all the same, they've not been able to do too much with it just yet. Nerds is the first to get caught off. Some decent damage traded back from the CT side, but they are losing members. This is not looking good. Kicks in the next to fall. Only 3 left for Heroic now is really not a great look, but as said, the damage was there, and they're able to now capitalize on that. Back to an even situation.
3v3. All goes a little eerily quiet as well. Nikitos playing towards Vent. Buda with a bomb in hand finds himself in Garage. There's a real decision to be made here. Where do I go? Where's safe? Definitely not in through main. That's now bomb spotted and information gained about what they're trying to set up. Heroic will know this is trying to be a top side here. Buda needs to be careful. A couple of fights going to go through. DGT going to find Nikitos. That'll give them room as well. Shush doesn't want to overfight, but he's being flanked.
Yeah, they're everywhere right now. Not really much that he can do. To be fair, it's fair credit that he doesn't go down there to that Heaven player, to be honest with you. Can't stop them from taking the A-bomb site, though. Digits going in, and with that little gooch coming in, and now the frag. Most certainly, TeSeS has got to save, you would assume, but he's walking right into the trap. Easy pickup for Max in the end. So 9Z going to take the pistol relatively convincingly, it has to be said. Heroic, not too elated with what we've seen.
And a little bit of an audacious sort of pistol in terms of the approach that 9Z bring. It's an outside take without really the quote-unquote proper util that works. I got to give them a lot of credit. It's a little bit weird, a little bit funky, and that's how you're going to try and take down a side like a Rogue. You got to try and put them on the back foot, try and catch them off guard, catch them napping, and they do. 9Z in towards a really, pretty simple buy here. Galil's coming through, 1 Mac 10 for Max. Over on the other side, it is a force buy at Heroic. Now, I'm normally not a huge fan of this. You've been with me for a long time here. I speak about it all the time. CT side force buys are a little risque. However, when it comes to these individual battles, how much the Heroic back themselves? Well, a lot. So I don't hate it. MP9 Alpha Kickstand. Pistols, upgraded pistols alongside Kickstand. His toes are getting cleared and getting spotted. Oh my god, how is he still alive? Just about, but Shush isn't.
Yeah, that's fair. That is such a great little angle to figure out. We see a lot of players sit on top of that door and do a lot of damage, especially in the force buys. Really well worked out here by 9Z. Simple frags across the board. Approaching it with no fear, it feels like. They take themselves in quite slowly and find just easy kills coming their way. Not really expending too much utility either. Wanting to get these Galils out quite early. But yeah, the force buy conversation is certainly an interesting one that we circle back to a lot with, the tier 2 teams. They like to experiment a little bit more, let's say. And certainly when CS2 first came out, I figured there was going to be a lot more ecoing in the second round, particularly from CT sides. And there was for a time. And then it seems we circled back. I don't know as well what feeds into the decision-making here. Obviously, as a pro player, you're going to be very confident in yourself and your abilities, particularly if you're playing for a world-renowned organization like Heroic. So maybe there's just kind of that angle for the Heroic players here of individually we're better. We should be able to get some dig headshots or whatever. But yeah, you can see in 9Z, methodical, but also feeling themselves some pretty crisp.
Yeah, I'm going to stand on business here. I hate it. I'm not a fan of the CT side force, but if they hadn't gone for that, they've gone for a low to no buy. They get guns out here and they get the much better firepower heading in towards this sort of battle. If they want a bit more util, yes, they maybe have to dip in towards a FAMAS. And I know people's opinions on the FAMAS isn't exactly all too positive. But guns are guns at the end of the day. They could have at least contested it in round 3. So 9Z get a relatively simple run out of the park here in these early rounds. Martinez, a nice shot. Nikidos gets clipped. They do have a Mach 10 in play. That's something. It's better than nothing, but expectations are still pretty tempered for us. Ooh.
Yes, indeed, but in the same vein, finding any kind of kill is always nice there. So Kixan getting that, getting himself a little out of there. Nerds just about survives the flames. But again, 9Z not overthinking things too much, taking a few fights, finding their confidence, finding their feet here on LAN, and then rolling downstairs as well, where you would assume there is more space and potentially less of a defense. But a man advantage rolling in, grouping up, making sure they don't get overwhelmed by a cheeky little stack or something like that. So I think it's looking good for 9Z. In my opinion, they'll go rolling in here. But as I said, nobody home. And we may well just see a recovery of that Galil.
I've got to give 9Z a lot of credit here, though. The start of the game has been kind of really well thought out from them. They're methodically approaching every increment of the round. Outside control, taking it slowly, using the util, using their fights effectively. And also, it got to be, giving their credit, hitting their shots too. So far, so good. This is a really nice start at a 9Z. They're looking good, heroic. A little bit on the back foot as well. Of course, we kind of saw that earlier game from them wasn't all to be too proud of. They already did kind of get overwhelmed by Liquid. 9Z at the moment, looking, playing very, very effectively. Martinez, Shush is just around that corner. Nurtle tuck his head with the Galil, wants to make sure that is in play. The Mach 10, though, won't be given the same luxury. Down it goes on the tail end. Nothing gained. So, really nice start. But of course, this is the true test. This is the first instance where we get to take a look at what they're all about. That is a cracking shot on Martinez, it has to be said. But again, it's against pistols, no armor. Fleshy beings of heroic, so the expectations were pretty low from the CT side. Now they're not. First true full buy coming out. M4 across the board alongside that saved Galil wielded by Nikidos. What a heroic got in terms of responses. Has to be an emphatic one. Kicks out to the flames. Kicks burning, and he's lucky to stay alive.
Oh yeah, that is so close to the wire. Nert's going to find the spam onto Buda as a response, but goodness me, Kixan, yeah, maybe eyes off the ball, maybe flashed. Difficult to tell. That could have cost them an awful lot. You can see young IGL first really, really big, potentially winning tournament for them. I don't think they were expecting too much out of the major, but this one, you are missing a lot of the top 5, so you really could get away with it. Nerves getting to him. TeSeS on high. An easy peasy double on the setup, and well, Nikidos is just around the corner, so it feels like if they approach the ramp area, the round will end with it. DGT and Max split across the map now as well. A minute left, plenty of time for Heroic to maybe even sort of sacrifice a player to gather some information. Seeing where the bomb is at. Was the single door heard open? Was it blasted open? We didn't quite catch that, but DGT, he's managed to find space for the plant. This gets a bit freaky now. Where is Max at? It's a really weird post plant they've got to deal with.
Shadow might be spotted here as well. DGT and Max both combined. 2v3. Hang on a second. I might give this a little bit of a look in. This might be possible. If DGT can hit a shot here, there's a world. He's going to get one. Thrusts. Now Max into a 1 versus 2. Time to shine, but bomb planted backside. They're going to come around as well. Won't really catch anybody just yet. Nerd spotted. Kixan could be called across, but he's going to find the head. Very, very close. 9Z nearly converting a 2v5, but it is going to be Heroic getting that first on the board, and my God, are they made to work for it.
It's a little lackadaisical, isn't it? I think you're 5v2. It's planet B. Let's just go rolling in. It's all good. I'll get the kill or whatever. But it is one of those arguments. You don't quite know what's going on the other side of the map. And again, we've seen it many a time, as I'm sure you have at home. That first player, maybe that second player, they kind of think, oh, well, it's not going to be my fault if we lose the clutch, But sometimes it's the first domino that is indeed the heaviest. So, gotta watch yourself. A little closer than Heroic would have liked, but they are on the board all the same, and the buy into this next round does not suffer due to the previous. So we'll see what the response is going to be now from 9Z and AWP out for Martinez. This is what we want to see from him. Very, very explosive player, as I mentioned in the pre-show. And he looked fantastic in EU. He was really doing well in the tier 2. even sometimes when Movistar Riders would make a Pro League full, he would look pretty good as well. But I'm not so sure here on 9Z whether he's had that same sort of impact.
Axto Will is going to get fined too. Shush and Kixan get caught napping. Down they go. Pants around their ankles. They had no idea that Max would even get in there. The smoke that they dropped in towards main. What a ruse. Max disrespects it, pushes his way through. That's now the A site under their control. One towards back garage, two towards CT. Heroic might just be kind of innately calling this already.
I mean, that's so insane. That's like Max has just walked in. Felt like Nuke had the angle.
Yeah.
He's been sat there all around, which I'm pretty sure that he has been towards back garage like that. So I don't really know what happened. I mean, just dropping down, timing, flash, smoke, you know, there are many different things, but we just caught Max sort of at the end of it. I think even from an observing standpoint, you look at that like, wait, is this guy, what is he doing? And yeah, he just walked in and picked up 2 kills. So Heroic definitely have a few holes in the defense. I think that is safe to say, and maybe the nice way of putting it as well. They have to really patch those up fast because this is somewhat problematic. Picking up the 1 round. Financial standpoint, which is what the game is all about on that CT side, it has left them in a dire situation.
Yeah, there's the rounder as well, which was basically done and dusted at this point here. Big fan of Max's smoke at the tail end as well. Just kind of freehand throws in towards heaven, sails through the door, goes in towards CT, and actually allows Heroic a bit of a safe save. Comical. It isn't a comical situation for Heroic. Find themselves now 3 rounds in the gutter. 9Z on this C side looking really good. Heroic, something's got to change. I think a little bit of proactivity out of the CT side might be the play. Bank on your individuals, rely on the guys who can find fights. We're looking at Nerds. We're looking at TeSeS. I mean, Shush. It's to really get into the server. And that distinct gap in the armor for Heroic is starting to show up quite brightly.
Yeah, they're really not playing like the Overdogs at the moment. There is a bit of timidity here to their CT side, which, again, comes with an adjustment period and perhaps some pressure on them. 9Z, meanwhile, playing really, really well. Flash comes round. Nikado's a bit more ready that time. Takes a further forward hold. Does not work out. Big damage, but, you know, you need those kills. However, we do have 3 players really close to the action here. Kixan, Nerds, TeSeS, all in different angles to try and hold the extremities. Meanwhile, it is Heaven that has become compromised. Will they be ready for that? Shush with a push out through Mini. In strikes Nerds. It's all coming together for Heroic here. And there goes TeSeS creeping down below. He's got a good idea that there's another player up top as well. They have held very strongly here on that Heroic side. Much better red. Not over just yet. We know 9Z are not foreign to bringing these rounds as close as humanly possible. Nerds, though, no regard for the spray coming his way. DGT with 15 seconds and a bomb to recover. Absolutely no way he gets this one. And, well, you know, not the nicest spray down there, but still, the round was lost, even if he survived. Exactly
that. And I think a lot of the owners as well, in these next few rounds, is on what Kixan can do to bring them back in towards contention. An IGL that I've revered for quite a long time. He's been very, very solid, kind of grinding his way through the tier 2. And somebody who can put up some decent numbers in the server as well. Much better round coming out from them. Very quickly, 9Z didn't really have too much of an opportunity. That looks very similar to Heroic's first round, where it was that 2v5, but they had the numbers game. Buda stuck in towards that. Just as a Heaven position, he can't really do all too much with it. 1 below him, 1 towards Red Crate, holding the cross, making sure he can't escape. It's simple, it's effective. 9Z do respond, though, with a bite of their own. This is the first true instance as well we get to see of this ARP battle of Martineza versus Nikados. And, you know, while we came in towards this game speaking very highly of the Heroic rifling core, saying they are, on paper, the better side, and obviously statistically have been the better side too, there's actually strong arguments to be made that maybe Martineza individually in that head-to-head versus Nikados might actually be the slightly more impressive ARP, or at least the one that can put up those numbers. Averaging a 1.19 over the last 3 months in a struggling 9Z squad is pretty damn good. Whereas Nikados is not always been the easiest run of form. Swing. On towards the site as Buda and Max combine. Shush and Nerd's going to get caught in a matter of moments, they're actually tempted to save already.
Oh, definitely now. Nuke, the next one to fall. TeSeS is going to try and be a bit of a hero here. Actually, might just look like a battle for survival as that bomb goes down. Good reposition to find the frag at the very least. So again, save very much on the cards, but I don't know that it really matters. You know, TeSeS is here taking that orb. They definitely will say it, but it's not like it's going to affect the buy into the next round. I think they're going to be ecoing around this anyway. Might try and scrap something together, I suppose. Lost burners stacked up ever so slightly. But yeah, not looking good for Heroic, to be honest. The big old C word that we all love using, consistency, definitely a problem for them. Oh, and even saving. Oh, I was going to say it could be a problem. Kixon, though. The wherewithal to find that frag. And okay, now at his feet. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, you take the silver lining, the cherry on top, so to say. But again, very, very quickly, 9Z are basically confirming these rounds in a matter of moments. That max kind of combination on towards the A site with Buda, very simple, very effective. The round's done in a matter of what, 15, 20 seconds? Heroic have now got to try and find their way around this. And I think what we've seen out of 9Z, where they've made these rounds work for them, like we've said, like we've seen multiple times, it pops on towards the top site, one through A main, one coming out of either door or hut, and they just combine with a kill of their own. Heroic have got to drop util early. I know within kind of the tier 1 EU scene, a lot of players like to hold their util as long as, right? You know, hold it for the last 35, 40 seconds, so to say. But I think Heroic have got to try and adapt. Oh. They've got to try and find a way to change this because they are losing rounds before the 30 seconds have even been of the round. So this is where, for me, I want to see mollies out early in towards single door and heart. I want to see smokes in towards main of themselves. Do not give 9Z the opportunity to find fights in that first 20 seconds. And that's when they can start to basically stall them out.
Really, yeah, really solid read, to be fair now. I think it's such a good point. 9Z, again, they maybe know what is up. They know that pace changes are coming. They know that Heroic are going to go something a bit different. And again, it is like fundamental Counter-Strike. I'll hold the point because Nuke is still here at the back end of single. He's got a bit of support as well in towards obs. Heat coming round, nobody pushing in. 9Z enjoying their one kill so far. They feel like they can really do something with it. But yeah, like I say, fundamental. What do you do after a timeout, right? You go for a rush, and particularly a B rush. It is just classic. It is South American once again. But it's something that may well have fallen out of trend in the EU sphere.
Yeah.
So when you get one of these sort of tier 2 South American teams in particular, like you say, you have to readjust. Heroic may be struggling with that, but plenty of time in this round to readjust. Nuke on the corner, spots a hand, goes a little bit early. They're going to know that he's in the back of Philo. Still not quite giving him the respect. He will fall. No real indication as to whether he has done enough there. DGT holding out on the flank here. If Nuke goes down, round over, he will survive it. So maybe we got a retake on our hands.
Double push through single door here. Buda, though, making that orb sing very loud. Not somebody you see wield it all too often as Martinez with a rifle on the other side. Going to make his name known. The last man of Shush, a known quantity. And it might be a kind of a tail between your legs sort of situation. Get out of dodge. Max going to try and close it. And he gets the dink. Ooh, gets caught, though. Shush. Just about staying alive. He's really got to run, though. Our bomb radius on Nuke is pretty damn big, but he'll get out of dodge. 9Z going to put up a 6th round. I've got to give a hell of a lot of credit to Max here. The IGL over towards 9Z, for me, calling a masterclass. Opening kill gets found early over towards ramp, pumps the brakes, and Heroic over-rotate ever so slightly. As the time starts to tick, yes, there's a little bit of presence still shown towards ramp, but Heroic start to doubt themselves. So 2 rotate again, back up through vent, and that's when they decide to pop towards B with only Nicolas backside. He goes 1-for-1, gets traded. That gives them the plan. It's a really, really nice couple of rounds out of Counter-Strike out of 9Z. Heroic are struggling to find a way back into this. Even that time, like you said, off the back of a pause, I just think 9Z have kind of read into that situation perfectly. What are Heroic going to do? Well, they're probably confident that individually they might be better, so they're going to try and fight us. Is it going to work for them? No, is the answer. 4-round buffer zone. 9Z hold on the T side of Nuke. The most CT side of map in the pool currently is not bad. DGT for one kicks and trades.
Might be able to make that work, and AK going to be recovered. Ooh, Nuke does on the Deagle. One more? No, not quite, but it is set up. And here we are. Heroic getting more in the face of their opponents, right? Thanks to the Half-Life, thanks to the pistols. Gap in the smokes. Leaves it down to just Mr. Buda. Hero of the previous game. We highlighted him here for 9Z. Can he keep the level up? 1v3 in total. Should be able to get this bomb planted here. An attempt to the spam, though, is nice and clean from TeSeS. I gave Buda a bit too much credit. They will indeed steal away around there on the Heroic side. And again, leaning forward, showing us what they are capable of.
Yeah.
We know they have those individuals. Let's see them. They've just been a little too passive, a little too timid. But yeah, they really can come alive, man. So hopefully we can see a bit of that with the rifles. You know, follow this up. Get even more aggressive. That's what I say. Get a lobby crunch going.
It's got to be said as well, in that instance as well, the opening couple of kills come through off the back of the pistols, but it's those saved AKs that they pick up that win them the round. I think Shush does really well. Towards our side, a slight gap on the smoke, and Martinez gets caught towards top red. It's rookie errors that cost them. So, pause again to come through. A conversation to be had, a good opportunity as well for Saw to get back on the mic and try and rally the troops. This is a ship taking on a lot of water. And Heroic are trying to stay afloat. If 9Z, if they get anywhere near 8 rounds on the T side, it already starts to feel out of the realms of possibility. That puts a lot of pressure on the Heroic T side, which isn't exactly always the most consistent of things. Back into a bite out of 9Z. One of my nades that Nikidos has been looking at. There as he misses out on the corner. A couple of Glils and a Mac 10. This is a winnable round for Heroic. Win this, you can shatter that T-side economy.
Oh, it looked good for a second. I thought they would maybe get the drop on, but Nerd's not smoked off for whatever reason, I suppose, trying to catch them off guard with a quick burst out. That mini smoke is part and parcel to an A hit. It unfortunately backfires for 9Z, and yeah, Nerd's easy for him to protect his teammate. 9Z have to reapproach in towards TeSeS here, it looks like. Hidden away. Timing going to be everything on this. They're not checking him at the moment. There he goes. Takes that of DGT. Spotted out the second. And just play it patiently. Call on some support. Although I don't think he's necessarily confirmed the position of the second. Feel like he's just assuming there is another player. But where is he at? So Martinez could get a pretty big frag here. Not going to happen. Wow. TeSeS so clean. Just Huazo left to go here, and well, he's downstairs, which I suppose is nice. I don't think they recognize that he is, but yeah, 20 seconds to get the bomb back. He ain't going for this, is he? He's just saving.
What do you do, right? There's nothing. And like I said, that's a huge round for Heroic to be picking up, especially the tail end of this half as well. Economy, backbone going to be broken over towards 9Z. They're not going to have the funds to work with in the next. It's going to be an eco in towards this one, around that save Galil, and this is going to give an opportunity for Heroic to start to pull forward. Really, really important position they find themselves in. That's a very, very good round to be finding, and not only finding it, but finding it cleanly. Minimal casualties. They're learning from their mistakes. You're starting to see Heroic adapt to the situation. That is a standard 9Z round that has won them, what, 3 rounds already this T side? Just popping on towards the A, 1 through main. 1 out of hot, 1 out of single door. Very standard stuff. Relying on the fundamentals like you spoke of earlier. But this time, Heroic hit their shots. They shut them down. 2-round game. And like we said, here's the full eco coming off the back of it. They will have a bye in towards the 12th, but the penultimate round of the half is most likely just a throwaway.
So how do we feel here for Heroic, right? Obviously, they're pulling off a bit of a comeback, and that's just a big part of that, actually. He gets himself another multi-frag round, but I don't know, only potentially, and it's not confirmed, but potentially being able to find 6 doesn't feel like quite enough out of your CT side for me.
True. You know what? I think it goes without saying, in my opinion, 9Z have done already enough in terms of building the foundations of a good T side. You know, 6 rounds on T side Nuke, it's no easy feat. It's, you know, not all that often we see it happen. I think 9Z have actually looked pretty strong from the rip, right? But the only real caveat to that point is that Heroic feel like they are starting to warm up. Heroic do this occasionally. They take a little bit of time to get going, and then they get in towards games and they become unstoppable. Nuts. I'll come back to that point in a minute as they close out the round. But yeah, like I was saying, Heroic aside, we saw this happen at the RMR. We saw this happen at the closed as well. This is a side for me who are very good when they get going. They just take a little bit of time to snowball occasionally. The one thing that's really going to help them is if they are snowballing, if they're feeling confident, and most importantly, winning out their 50-50s, that could actually be a benefit heading on towards that T side. Heroic aside, who their setups are very clean. I'm looking, you know, when we get towards that T side, the outside control in particular out of Heroic feels for me considerably better than what 9Z have been offering thus far. Let's see if Heroic can make it an even game before heading in towards the halfway break, or 9Z are going to take an ever so slight lead in the final round of the half.
Very early outside smokes from 9Z. Going to get that cross down just for the MAC-10. Nobody else joining just yet, but, you know, keeping that yard space in their hands. But then the MAC-10 also not dedicating downstairs. So just sort of faking things out a little. Trying to isolate this frag. Pika does. Dangerous to reveal himself here. They are all around. I don't think he quite recognizes it. Yeah, MAC-10 takes his head clean off. Shoosh going to catch the business end of the AK. Just 3 remaining for Heroic right now. Not looking good at all. TeSeS trying to be the hero, creeping round. They line up for him. He's dropped the bomb as well. He could get a bit more out of this, but denied that opportunity. Still, time being bought. Kixon up on roof, like, what is going on? Where are these Heroic players? Absolutely wild positions right now for the CT side.
This position out of Kixon is so strong as well. Staying up towards roof, anybody tries to reposition towards silo, he's got their number. But if they push in towards single door, which is very common in this sort of angle, he might be able to catch them. Oh my god, this is so precarious as he makes his way down the ladder. Nuts, tagged, not quite dead. And Kixon, does he even think to clear this while he gets tagged up, and that'll cost him, and DGT will close it. Brilliant way for 9Z to find a slight lead at the turn of the half, but can they continue it after the break?
Hey Future Pros, stopping an A-rush on Nuke can be vital to your team's success. So let's look at the door molly, which is a staple piece of utility when playing the map. To throw this molly, you should always be the first one up the ladders to heaven. When at the top and while running, aim your crosshair at this point shown. There can be a bit of variance here, so don't worry about being 100% aligned, as you don't have a lot of time for this. Then keep running and throw the molly. Sometimes the T's are committed to the A-rush, so be wary of a smoke extinguish, as this will be a good sign that the T's are coming.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back into the second half here. 9Z putting up a pretty good score there on the T side of Nuke. 7 rounds. It's not quite enough. It's not quite like solidly a victory for them, right? But they are in a really, really good position now. If they can pick up this pistol, as we always say, then for sure, I think they start to look towards that second map with a 1 in the win column there.
Yeah, do you know what? There was a lot to like on 9Z, especially the first kind of 6-7 rounds out of them. They looked very, very confident, and that's the way you've got to approach this sort of game. You've got to come in against a side like Heroic and take the fight to them. Do not give them any respect. You know, when you are an underdog as well, you do see this happen occasionally where they're a little bit tentative, a little bit timid is kind of a word you were using earlier, but that word more aptly describes Heroic. They didn't quite look themselves. Let's see where they're heading on towards their T side when they can set the tempo, whether things will change. They're going to pop towards A.
Yeah, not wasting any time at all. Martinez will find that opener, but it's a flurry of frags at the moment. Martinez is still on the jewelry, though, looking good. Oh, it's a fight, and he runs out of ammo there at the end, I believe. Shush will take it. Still, though, TeSeS stuck outside. Bomb spilled, so there is no guarantee right now for Heroic and no bomb plant. That's the big thing. There's no sort of reset of the game. Still, in theory, in favor of that CT side. Shush with a big reposition here. May well have heard them dropping down, taking something unorthodox in terms of the pathing. Just try and confuse 9Z, I suppose, but they also are not stopping. They keep moving, clearing angles, clearing space, and ticking off areas where Heroic are not.
Yeah.
So a bit of trial and error here. I think they're more prepared for this than you would think.
They have the bomb, right? That's the big thing. It's going to help them. That shot is spotted. TeSeS could be in trouble, but he is the trouble. Finds one. Thrusts Buda into a 1v2. This is the guy our highlights coming in towards this game. Let's see what he's got for us. This fight could be everything. Tags on towards TeSeS. Can't drop him. Can't find him. And cannot close it. TeSeS, an incredible 4K to really pull things back in favor of Heroic. Give them momentum to start off this second half. That was a very scrappy pistol round. But in the chaos and the carnage, they kind of beat 9Z at their own game.
Yeah, Martinez are very, very close here. I think indeed did run out a bit of ammo, but either way, really, really cleanly done by Heroic.
Yeah.
Staying cool. On Nuke for sure. I think we have seen it a lot more for my money. And, you know, Nuke, it feels like traditionally is a map that Force Spies were pretty effective on, actually, especially in and around that A bomb site. But again, we're not the biggest fans, but maybe 9Z can prove us wrong. Maybe not. Yeah, I didn't really even get the sentence out, and TeSeS has shut me up there with the 2-piece.
It's a good angle for the Eagles, though. Occasionally catch a couple of headies, but up to me, Buda making the CZ work. Not often you get to say CZ and work in the same sentence. This will be caught. Looks like it might just be only the one constellation kill as well. The last man, unknown quantity towards ramp. Now he's been spotted by Nerds as well, but he will be caught. Nice shot with the Eagle. 1v3, not really going to give him any sort of a chance in the round, but, you know, constellation kills are something. If they can keep that T-side economy in check, we'll take a couple of silver lines. Nuke does, peeking in for a fight. Going to try and hunt him at the very least, but I don't think it's worth it. And you see them sort of tailing away now. There's no point. It's just a Deagle. Yes, Deagle in half armor is better than nothing, but there's no point risking your life for it. He sent one body. He fell. That'll be that. So they're safe. And it is going to be Heroic tying this game up. 7 rounds apiece. Yes, the Deagle stays alive, but it isn't going to make too big of a difference. Much better out of Heroic. And this is what we were saying. You know, we spoke about this a bit at the kind of the tail end of the half. Was it enough out of 9Z? Arguably, yes, in some cases, but Heroic are a side that once they start to snowball, once they start to get a little bit of momentum, they are very difficult to stop. And their individuals are coming alive now. 9Z, not too much of an investment in towards this one. And that save, Deeg. Heroic should have a bit of a free path to an 8th and to a lead in this map.
That's a bit awkward. They were set up in a nice spot there, but discovered while they were jumping up. Double nades actually landing down. Not going to do too much, but Heroic know what's up. And a pretty rare kind of round here as well out from a T side where they're going to send 4 of the 5 downstairs, unless Shush is hanging about. But the main pack goes just straight downstairs, you know, not messing around, get the smokes out, and try and make the B bomb site work. Now, it looks like there's no one on B, but we do have 3 players on ramp here quite fast. And it's one of those rounds for 9Z where if they can get a couple of frags, you'll be happy with that. If you can scoop up an AK and escape, you'll be very happy with that. But the weaponry is looking completely outclassed here. There's 1. Buda, can we make it 2? Yes, we can. What is that timing? Oh my God, Nerds is so angry right now. And that is an AK indeed retrieved. Heroic, though, will take the lead off the back of this round. So really putting in work on the T side.
I like this as well. Drops a smoke over towards T-Spawn, but he's not going to play there. However, moving towards Red Crate is a little bit of a risk with a secret player there, Buda. Maybe just kind of overstaying his welcome a little bit towards outside. He's going to be spotted, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Got to find this kill. He will. But even then, surviving's going to be big arse. That bomb radius is no joke. Kicksan's hunting too. He throws away the AK, and he honestly didn't even need to. Doesn't really matter. They'll have a buy-in towards the next regardless. Yeah, shame for him as well. He throws away the AK, and he was really under no pressure, but we don't really know about it in that situation. Good round, though. A little bit more expensive than Heroic would have liked, but a round is a round, and a lead is a lead. That's what Heroic have in their favor. 8-7 now. 9Z, first true response out of them coming up. A full buy towards this. Martinez getting his favorite AWP out, but he has been a little bit quiet with the big green. What have we got from him? Can he now start to elevate himself with no kind of open response basically out of Heroic? Always towards our side. Yeah, big flash here as well. He actually gets the cross.
Oh yeah, charging him fast. We got to go straight into the action. Looking so good for 9Z. Wow. 3 in their favor is pretty much all you need, isn't it? We do get 1 back, but Heroic, what can you really do from here? They've not got control of A. They've not done significant damage to any of the remaining players. It's not a great look. And again, something kind of wild from Heroic, just flying in.
Yeah.
Let's give that a go. 9Z was super ready for that. Again, I think that is in the 9Z wheelhouse. Fast, aggressive, guns up. Max looking to end the round here and now. He's going to get timed on by Nuke does, but still wins the fight, looking for another round that corner. He's savvy to a second player. Where is he at? Here's him coming, but can't deny him the kill. Kickson then. A small window for him to get this bomb down, and he knows that it's too small, in fact. He's going to fake things out that he's sticking around and back off towards A to try and get this plant down.
Heroic tried the old 9Z round. This was basically what kick-started the momentum out of 9Z on towards their T side. Quick towards A, 1 on a single, 1 trying to pop through main by rushing outside, and can't beat 9Z at their own game. No chance. No, sir. So I think Kicksan, with just shy of 20 seconds on the clock, is going to be calling for that save. 9Z bite back. 8-all. They tie this game up. Man alive, Heroic stunted very quickly. First full buy, and 9Z take it relatively easily. Says a lot. Only the 2 casualties, not too shabby. And what a game we're being gifted as well off the rip. You know, when we looked at this matchup, especially the veto when we got towards it, we said about how important Nuke is, and especially if you're 9Z and you want a chance in this series, a lot of it feels like it comes down to Nuke. This is a map which is, for both of these 2 teams, their go-to, pick, their insta-pick, their comfort map, and it's the perfect pugging ground for this sort of a series, specifically, and I'm loving the fact we're getting a game out of it.
Mirage up next, of course. Keep your eyes peeled for that one, Heroic. Pretty big fans of that map. 9Z strugglers, and certainly if they're struggling within a lesser developed region, let's say, That's not a good look. So this one absolutely has to go their way. We both gave Heroic the 2-0. 9Z will blow it open with a Nuke victory here. A slower round coming out now. We're almost a minute in. Really not an awful lot seen. Still a lot of utility remaining for the T side. Nert somehow, some way, is down below. He is, of course, one of the sneakiest players in the game right now. A very traditional lurker, and this is going to be disastrous. They have not considered the fact at all. He'll creep round. Oh, just spotted at the last second. Will he make a difference? Oh, he will. Guazo holding cleanly for 3. And he actually brings it in favor of 9Z. I thought the round, you know, would be done there and then. 2 kills for Nerds. Let's go B, but no, denied.
That's a brutal way for that one to slip away from them. TeSeS getting in behind. He might actually catch DGT here. But no, he'll catch Kixan. And Buda on the coverage stops main being a vulnerability. And 9th on the board. Nerds had the play, had the round in the grasp of his hand, and it slips away. That's gotta hurt. That really has gotta hurt. Only getting 1 there is not good enough, but that triple is monstrous. And it feels like maybe single-handedly wins in the round. 9Z claw back a lead. And put up a 9th round on the board. And there really isn't too much of a response out of Heroic. No buy for them to work with. Even upgraded pistols, a bit of a luxury in this one. No armor as well. The fleshy being should be mowed down with relative comfort. And AWP towards our side, holding, waiting, and momentarily probably finding 2. Nice shot from Martinez, a good reaction. He should get the spot in just a second of his rifles.
Yeah, certainly is possible. Looking good for DGT here. Double spray down. TeSeS and okay, we'll be given a kill. GG from Max, for sure. TeSeS, meanwhile, looking for at least 1 more. Just try and make this slightly costly rather than only taking down a SMG. But before I can really get the sentence out, he's actually wallbanged by Martinez. So there you are. 9Z coming up to double digits then. This is starting to look convincing, in fact, if they can win it in this fashion.
Yeah, as well. I love that kind of push towards that side, getting caught by the Deagle as well. Just a funny way to lose the 1 casualty. Credit to observers as well, catching that one. Shout out the boys, Jonas, Chev, and of course Sarks. So far though, a very important pause and needs to be called here. Heroic are 2 rounds in the gutter. Their opponents, 9Z, only 3 rounds away from taking this first map and really changing the narrative as well of this series. You know, we came into it very much sitting on the wave of Heroic 2-0, should be quite clean. The veto favors them, and now it feels anything but that, right? 10-8. Let's see. Back into a bite at the very least. Kixan does have to wield a Galil, but aside from that, it's a pretty fully fleshed buy. Prioritizing util in this one. 9Z, if you can win this, you basically push your way all the way to map point.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. So a really, really big round here for Heroic, in particular, their survival on this map. And just their confidence in the series. We've seen some nice rounds out from them, but it feels like it's been 9Z defying the odds and pulling back disadvantaged situations or winning the dominant rounds. Heroic, it's half buys, it's when they've broken economies, you know, rifle round-wise. I think 9Z have looked like the much better team. A big, big nade to kick things off. Max, oh, I mean, so risky to go swing it in there, but it pays off. 2 for him. DGT down below, surely going to be able to find 1 as well. Yes, he does. And they've done it again. 9Z coming out on top of the first exchange.
This is a beautiful play towards CT. Because Heroic slows things down, it gives them so much coverage. Looking towards ramp, nobody's showing face. They actually go for a push as well, which is why DGT wraps all the way down towards Secret. Lasso pushes through, gets up towards radio, and nobody's there. So he's like, right, whoa, they've got to be outside. It's the only place left, outside of lobby. Pick your poison, take your 50-50. Shush, that's a great reaction. And maybe ever so slightly an over peak. Buda spotted 1. He's beckoning over rotation and support, but Nerds might not spot him. Nerds is dancing between the 2 angles. If he gets the peak effectively, he should find him, and he actually tags him through main as well. Shush. Last man alive in a 1v2. Does have the bomb. With 10 seconds, doesn't even have the time.
I mean, he's got to go. He's got to go. He should have had his knife out earlier. He's just about. No. Oh, I don't know. That's close. That is close.
Oh,
yeah. Wow.
No reason.
It's not enough, though. It's not enough. Yeah. They get the bomb, but I mean, what does that really matter at this point, right? 9Z moving up to 11. Really gonna play the money game on this one. Try and get as much utility as possible, and there is indeed an AWP to retreat. Yeah. There we go. So all good, but lots of util also picked up, to be fair, there by Huazo. We'll see now moving forward. I mean, yeah, looking very, very good for 9Z. I think Heroic. It's one thing going down in rounds. It's another thing getting frustrated by the way your opponents are playing. So confident, so heads up, wanting to take the fights. You see what I mean? It's 2v1. There's a lot on the line there, and we just go charging in at the end. Buda's just going to swing open the door by himself. Again, a lot of tier 1 European teams would be like, let them have the plan. Let's not take any chances. 2v1 it. But that's not how 9Z like to approach things.
Yeah, you know, all these EU teams play a, numbers game where it's all about percentages and all the rest, and 9Z, just this raw angel is working well for them. I've got to say that nade at the start of the round, of last round, did so much damage as well. It gave them so much confidence. I mean, tagging TeSeS down to 40 points of HP before we'd even seen a body. This time, though, they do get a comfortable cross towards Secret. At the very least, that's something. And the bomb plant does facilitate a buy here. So there's small incremental positives at a Heroic, but they are falling quite rapidly behind. Kixan, that is so audacious, and he gets away with it. We'll find Max. I think he's surely going to be blindsided, and he will. Gets caught by Shush. This is falling apart rapidly.
Absolutely wild approach from Heroic, but maybe what they needed. Throwing some madness into the mix. Big kill from Huazo, though, up top. He's ready for Kixan somewhere, but doesn't quite know where to look for him. Goes flying round the corner. Maybe thought he was still down below. Buda not close enough to find a trade, but again, might be able to catch some players off with this sneak out from heaven. Long range spray down, difficult to land. Martinez all alone, 30 seconds. 4 to get through. I have a feeling the scope might have been heard down below there. Not fully confirmed, but they are weary of that area.
I think he's got to try and save it as best he can. It's not going to be easy. And, just as we were singing the positives of 9Z in terms of this, confident, sort of individualistic based play style out of them, that's where they get punished. 3 different people fighting through heaven and all 3 of them failing. That's probably where things go a little bit sideways. Normally we would see kind of an EU team find a fight towards heaven, get the information that are outside, and actually give them outside and play sites. Fall back, play for crossfires. 9Z re-peek in time again and lose their fights. And most importantly, that one from the guy who was kind of just coming out of Secret. The long-range duel, and losing that costs them. Martinator, he should be fine here. And he will. He'll save. The AWP is alive. That is better than nothing. Of course, they have plenty of cash to work with. Heroic, a much-needed round for survival. We'll start there. That kicks and frag towards outside. Flying for a smoke. Balls of steel. It goes without saying. But in another world, he loses that. They lose the numbers advantage, and everything falls apart rapidly. So it wasn't a bit of a nice edge. 9Z, though, back in towards their investment. They don't have a lot left in those back pockets, though. Wallet is mighty thin. So for Heroic, this is arguably the most important round they have had so far this entire map.
Oh, straight through a molly. Not the best, but they make it work. Kixan ahead of it. Takes out the hero of previous rounds. Martinez down below already, though, is certainly unexpected. And that pauses them for just a second. Buda flying in, and there it is, punishing that aggressive play style when Heroic can call a freeze. Let's relax, see what they go for, and find the heads. Beautiful play here from Heroic, and adapting very, very well to the 9Z responsive protocols.
I've got to give them a lot of credit because they're actually changing the way they're playing now, Heroic. In every situation, the second they take any sort of map control, the second they know somebody's clear, they're playing guns up. That's how you have to respond to 9Z, because they know the tendencies. They know basically the pitfalls of this team are that they're a little bit feisty, a little bit over-aggressive. They have these tendencies to swing and tendencies to take individual duels when They don't really have any support, and that's exactly what we get. And I think really the onus now is on Max. He's got to try and slow these guys down. You know, they're a fiery team. They've put up a very decent map so far, but they give you too much of an ask, right? You know, Buda swinging out a single door there, or Decon on towards the site. There's 4 players. I mean, what was he actually expecting? You know what I mean? Even if he goes 1 for 1, it's still not good enough. But if he played the numbers game, if he played the trades with Martineza, played in some sort of crossfire and retook the site, there's a chance. They just get, you know, a little bit wound up, a little bit on edge, and it costs them. Now, a 1-round game, Heroic have a really good chance. There's a little bit of an investment around what was saved. 2 rifles, 2 upgraded pistols. That is it. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's not impossible. Just, you know, highly improbable.
Whoopsie daisy on the Molotov. TeSeS having otherwise a nigh-on perfect game, as he hits himself with 23 kills. Maybe a few more for him. He seems to be the lurker in this round. Isn't that a mix-up for Heroic? There is sort of that guaranteed Nert's going to be on the other side of the map type deal in a lot of their T-side rounds. Martineza creeping around, pops ahead of 1, but a bullet meets him right between the eyes. And with that man down below in the form of TeSeS, I think this is going to be a very difficult response. I don't really see too many options for 9Z. Slightly prepared for it down there. But again, Heroic taking their time. They've got the first kill. Get their high-level utility out. Or some awkward fights. There goes the big gun. Just Max remaining. Super, super clean here from Heroic. As to be expected against the weaponry, etc. But all the same, there's a bit of danger. So there was potential for them to lose 1 member or give away an AK, force a save out from 9Z. But it's actually flawless from them.
Yeah, nice stuff. Nicely done. So at least the M4 will stay alive. That's something. And this could potentially, with loss bonus, facilitate an AWP being dropped over towards Martineza. But I mean, it definitely will. DG's got plenty of money. So that's going to be a saving grace. But this game is feeling on edge now. It's feeling very, very janky. 9Z have given way too many opportunities for Heroic to snowball. And, you know, we all know the conversations. You at home, us here in a kind of a position of talking over the game for a living. You know, we always speak about the CT side economy, right? Difficult to build up, difficult to keep, you know, comfortable and maintain and all the rest. And this is a prime example of it. 9Z are dipping in and out of buys time and time again, and they're building up no stability. And the lack thereof is what is costing them so much at the tail end of this game. Heroic still have a chance to completely flip this narrative on top of its head. Now we basically have 2 decisions. 13-11 for one of the 2 teams, or overtime required in map number 1. And Nicholas going to get caught. Max not taking any prisoners out the gate here. TeSeS will answer back.
Oh, he's going in for a bit more as well. Playing with fire here. There's 2 round the back of these smokes. Hello? Running through the Molotov? What is he doing? That is mental from TeSeS, but he makes it work. Huge finding Martineza. TeSeS keeps going. Swapping guns. And eliminating the vast majority of 9Z. Buda. Solo here. He knows where TeSeS is at, absolutely, because he's made quite the name for himself here in round number 23. Nert's footsteps can be heard, but my God, that is a fast peak. Heroic first to hit map point. Are we going to be extending the game? Or will it be over here in heartbreaking fashion for 9Z?
Oh, it's a ridiculous round for kind of all the wrong reasons, but all the right reasons. This is what I want to see. This is how you know, put 9Z on the back foot. Fight fire with fire, and quite literally as they're running through it to find kills. That is the level of carnage that we will be seeing out from this side. Heroic find map point on their opponents, a map pick. Mirage up next on the docket. This is a great spot. Heroic has snowballed themselves into a leading position at the tail end of the map, right when it felt like 9Z on the brink of closing it. And look at the buy. Pockets full of lint as they can only facilitate MP9s for the most part. One premium rifle in the hands of Martinez and DGT on towards the FAMAS. This has slipped from their grasps in such a painful fashion.
TeSeS once again down below. Matters into his own hands. Round. Lots of noise being made, but just hot air right now. Nuke coming towards him. How many can he get? 2. That is good. That is well played. And Buda spotted, so it's a fair trade-off. 4 versus 3 with 1 being known makes the job of Heroic so much easier. Martinez. Glass already broken. Oh, God. He's falling in and out of the window. That could cost the game. And he will absolutely blame himself for a moment like that. Kixon is on high here, looking for the next frag. Buda ready for him, takes his head clean off. So we're not done just yet. 25 seconds. B bomb site seems to be where they want to go. And we know that it's clear. They have a good idea that it's clear as well. Nobody around. Open plan and a tough retake for survival here on Nuke.
No util as well. This is the biggest part about it. FAMAS we can speak whatever about is the lack of util and the fact that Nikolas has caught Buda in rotation. What have you got for us, King? A FAMAS and a 1v3. It's not the easiest of situations. He's being held. He's being pop shot at that. He'll find Shush. And now maybe giving himself an opportunity. 1 man in towards radio. 1 man double door. Tap on towards the bomb. But a dead man walking. TeSeS will close it. Heroic steal away 9Z's map pick at the brink. In the dying embers of map number 1, they find it in their favor. And for 9Z losing that in the most painful of fashions.